Baby, it's Shaka Billionaire Mafioso, the Dun Dada coldest ninja with a nunchuck swinging behind his back, aka Mace Windu, aka Darth Vader, aka Luke Skywalker, aka Shaka Black, aka Shaka Fuego, aka Shaka Fuego. And listen, bro, we've been getting into it, bro. We've been talking about this new Starfield, man. Who's gonna win the race for the best space age game to come out and that really has all features, not is still in alpha mode, all that jargon for me to keep giving you my dollars, man. And apparently I had my money on Starfield, but seems that we got some sad news about Starfield. Bethesda hasn't let us down only a few times, so let's see what's possibly going wrong.
The channel, and today we've got some Starfield news and updates to talk about. Todd Howard just shared some details regarding the PC version of the game that's got the community talking. There's actually been quite a few concerns raised by Digital Foundry that I'm going to go over. As you guys know, Starfield.
Oh man, we got some sad news,
options, which has fans kind of upset about that fact. Well, according to a
developer with the mods, we ain't got to worry about that.
This is actually a good thing rather than a negative, but more on that in just a bit. And finally, we're going to go over some of my theories.
That ain't nothing to really worry about.
Game starts and so much more. So check the video chapters and let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and go over the big AMD news for Starfield that has the community kind of freaking out.
Hey, can somebody educate me on
so in the video,
the AMD graphics cards? Because I'm always about Intel and NVIDIA.
Most game we've ever made.
I grew up off that. NVIDIA, I mean AMD and Radeon and stuff like that. I don't know about them.
To make that look really great and run great, and it has been really special.
That game looks beautiful.
AMD engineers in our code base working on FSR2 image processing and upscaling, and it looks incredible.
FSR2.
Todd said that you're going to get the benefits of that obviously on your PC, but also on Xbox. We're super excited and can't wait to show you more, so thanks for having me. To which the AMD representative responded, I cannot wait to play this game and explore over 1,000 planets myself. We are humbled and honored
over 1,000 planets.
The best of Starfield for everyone. So what does that mean for those of you
how
that
developed
play
are those
PC?
planets going to be?
If you've got an NVIDIA card, then you might have heard of the term DLSS or deep learning super sampling, which is essentially AI upscaling with the goal of boosting performance. So essentially what happens is the GPU outputs a certain resolution, and then from there the AI cores of the NVIDIA GPU then upscales the image to make it look better without having to use as many resources. DLSS is the industry standard in terms of AI upscaling. It's the GOAT, at least at this point. Maybe AMD was able to make some stuff happen for Starfield, and the FSR2 implementation is at least close to what DLSS
These graphics are amazing.
It's really hard to say, but the fact that AMD paid for exclusivity is unfortunate, especially for how many people have an AMD GPU. It's sounding like you're not going to be able to use DLSS, and it's just not going to be supported for Starfield. And that is the
exactly why I go for Intel every time in NVIDIA.
Their AI upscaling. So as of right now,
I got time to play with y'all, man.
Starfield will be using AMD's FSR2 on PC and Xbox, and it's designed for multi-threaded chips. This, of course, has a lot of people that are PC gamers that have an NVIDIA GPU who are looking forward to Starfield that are a bit concerned. I mean, there's
wait. It's the opposite of what I'm saying. It's a bad thing for NVIDIA users.
And the fact that Starfield will not include DLSS,
I think it was kind of hard to get the NVIDIA chips developed after the COVID.
I just hope that Starfield is an optimized game on PC, because if they decided to just remove DLSS because of this partnership with AMD, and the game isn't optimized at launch on PC, then I could see a absolute disaster happening. So let's all just hope.
What is the equivalent of a 4090 for AMD?
And AMD FSR's implementation is actually really good. At this point, there's no 100% confirmation that AMD's exclusivity means there's not going to be DLSS, but let's be honest, I just don't see that happening. Expect this game to only have FSR2, and then hope that some mod developer will add DLSS and XeSS in a future mod. It's also worth mentioning that this game will likely be CPU bound, so if you're turning on FSR or CAS,
I need an i9.
Really affect the CPU usage. But I'll stop talking out my hoo-ha and let the Digital Foundry guys do that themselves. Next up, let's talk about romance options in Starfield. As you guys know,
I'm not worried about that.
Confirmed that only 4 romance.
We're going to Lover's Lab for the romance options, guys.
This was during the Kind of Funny interview with Todd Howard. So let's go and set that stage really quick. The question was asked, are the 4 constellation companions the only ones that could be romanced? To which Todd said the 4 main constellation ones are the ones that support full quest lines for them and romance. So right now, the only only companions we know that can be romanced are Sam Coe and Sarah Morgan. But what's interesting is they said that
that's pretty underdeveloped
constellation companions that have a full quest line that can be romanced. This leads me to believe that there's other companions in the game that can be romanced. They just don't support the full quest line like the 4 main constellation ones. So Todd's statements on the Kinda Funny podcast,
everybody wants an e-girlfriend
options, which I think is a good thing.
Everybody needs an e-girlfriend.
By a former Dragon Age writer who had a similar take. He quote tweeted a PC Gamer article that said 1,000 planets, 4 romance options, to which he said this, and I quote, I'd say this is
damn, how many romance options is there gonna be in it?
Quantity mindset.
Can't be 500
side, unless a meaningful romance arc is the kind of thing that one imagines an AI could whip up, in which case
unless they doing polygamy in the future.
Previous Bethesda game romances actual romances, and then said that the skepticism probably comes from the promises of endless content, but also meaningful content.
I will say the romance options haven't, if you playing a vanilla game, I don't even see why that's a big problem, because you can't really do anything like that unless you get that lover's lab,
and which things haven't really been compatible to date. I guess we'll see. So if you're worried about romance options in Starfield, just know that there's going to be some wild stuff that happens. I mean, just look at the ESRB rating. In one of the quotes it says, I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time,
oh man, this looks amazing. I can't wait to play this shit.
About some news regarding the physical edition versus the digital. There's been a lot of controversy.
I can't wait to play this.
The standard edition of the game will have a disc. There's been a ton of misinformation that I'd like to just address for you guys, especially if you're looking to get a physical.
Are you guys getting the collector's edition
form? Yes.
So you can get the watch. That's not going to work very well.
Of the game. But if you're like me and you purchase the constellation,
it's not for watching. I mean, it's not for working though.
The cool watch.
You know, you got to put it up there and use it as like
a physical copy.
Decoration.
It's not going to have a disc at all. It will have a credit stick with a laser etched game code, which for me, that's just honestly preferred. I play the game digitally anyway, so I really have no intentions or reason to buy a physical copy, but I know a ton of you who are collectors who plan on buying the
CDs
game.
are so phased out for a futuristic game.
It will come with one. Next up, I want to talk about some news regarding loading screens. As you guys know, with every Bethesda game, it's kind of been a meme, especially with Skyrim. The BGS titles just have loading screens. That's just a thing that they have, and it's not going to go away with Starfield. However,
at least you can move the items around in the
loading screen at every single entrance to a new area. There will be different loading points.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
Have a loading screen. Now, this Reddit thread has been circulating on Twitter, and I was actually linked to it, and it says PSA, there will be loading points but few loading screens. The Reddit
definitely has to be on the SSD.
There will be loading points but few loading screens. So when they say loading points, they mean the ship landing on a planet, ship taking off from a planet, the ship warping to another solar system, attaching to another ship, like the docking, sitting in the pilot seat.
I mean, what do y'all expect? Let's be realistic. It's 1,000 planets.
Those are going to be the loading points.
Some has to load.
This part of the direct right here, you see the doors open of the deserted robotics lab, and as the door was opening, that is essentially another loading point to get into the building. So this is one of the reasons I'm guessing why they require an SSD. So whenever the door opens and the game loads, the actual loading points won't be noticeable. I'm guessing for some aspects.
Yeah, it definitely has to be on an SSD because a hard drive is going to be too painful to play.
Where whenever you open up some doors, they have like a little loading bar.
He didn't take no cover at the
another area that was a lot larger. That whenever you open up the door, it just took a second to load, render everything in, and then the door just opened. One of the core elements of Starfield is their use of
classic Bethesda gameplay,
from the planets to the biomes to creatures and more. Now this, of course,
I can definitely see myself getting into this one,
which I won't get into. I did that in my last video, but I'd like to showcase these two images of the procedural generation in action. As you guys can see, the area that the player is at, or the planet, looks similar, but each shot has different details. If you look at the left image, you can see blue crystals that are coming up from the ground, and on the other shot, it's a structure.
So no environment will be the same.
The aspect of the game that I'm most
That's cool. I never played No Man's Sky, so I haven't seen this in action yet.
Starfield. Will the game start us off in the same location for everyone, or will we all start in a random location that looks completely different for everybody? Now, if you remember back from the very first gameplay demonstration, one would assume that we would start on Crete or possibly even the planet of Jemison in the city of New Atlantis. But the more I think about it, the more I think everybody's journey will start differently. I think it's very possible that when we all boot up the game, we all start in a system in the proximity of Alpha Centauri, but not in the system. But it also,
of course, you know how Bethesda's games start off.
The path we choose in Starfield will be the
It's going to be cutscene and character creation, and then you go into the tutorials. Come on, man.
determining factor of where we start in the game. Right now, the game has 16 backgrounds, from Beast Hunter to Bouncer to Cyber Runner to
I'm playing with Grandma.
It's possible that whatever character background
I'm gonna play with Grandma
is where we start in the game. Now, it is possible and very likely that we start on New Atlantis, but I just don't think it will be nearly as impactful as it would be if we did our first jump to Alpha Centauri, got all of our cargo scanned, and then got to land on New Atlantis for the very first time. That would mean the decisions that we made for our character would affect the game almost immediately, and it would also provide a ton of replayability for this game. It would give you a reason to start off on a different career path. Now, one of the biggest mods from games like Skyrim and the Fallout series is the alternative start mods. So the possibility of Starfield including an alternative start
and alternative character creation
I never thought would be a possibility, but it's a welcomed one. Now, with there being just about 2 months left until Starfield's official release date of September 6th, some questions have been raised on when the next bit of official news is coming.
Where are the aliens at? Because are they going to look like Argonians?
At the upcoming QuakeCon, so we don't have to really look forward to that event for news. But where does that?
Are they going to look like Argonians?
Launch hype. Will we see another Starfield direct deep dive closer to launch? Are we going to be getting gameplay previews or events from journalists or creators? My hope is that we get raw, uncut gameplay footage from the Xbox Series X and S and one on the PC. Maybe with Todd Howard actually playing the game, similar to how Nintendo did things with Eiji Aonuma playing Tears of the Kingdom before the game's launch. But until then, we will just have to wait until we get official word from Bethesda Game Studios. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video. If you enjoyed my coverage of Starfield, do me a favor, leave a like.
Hey man, what do y'all think? Are y'all disappointed in this, on these new developments for romance options? I mean, come on. We already know what Lovers Lab what it's gonna be. We already know what Lovers Lab mods, man, is gonna get 2X rated for television. So the best thing to do is play these Bethesda games on a PC. And I know you guys got some wicked PCs. I mean, people got setups with the goddamn flight simulation, 4090s, i9s. Come on, man. Y'all guys have told me some wicked setups, bro. So I know y'all gonna be all right, man. Ain't nobody worried about what the console people are doing when it comes to these type of games. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I know a lot of y'all want to Star Citizens to be what it is, but listen, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for it, man. I mean, I do got time for it, but give me the Bethesda, give me the tried and true, and I'm with it, you know? But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all like, dislike, hate, educate, precipitate, and emancipate, and I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it. I'll get down with you in the comments, man. We can talk about it, man. It's all love. It's all good, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's your boy, Shaka Billionaire Mafioso, the Dundada, coldest ninja with a nunchuck swinging behind his back, a.k.a. Shaka Black, a.k.a. SB Panther, a.k.a. Shaka Billionaire, a.k.a. Shaka Fuego, a.k.a. Mace Windu, a.k.a. Luke Skywalker, a.k.a. Shaka Flame, man. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. Peace.